And we've got 5Q is black versus a 1Q. Okay. What do we have here? Enclosure. Enclosure's not terrible, but I'd want to enclose the top side of the board rather than the bottom right, simply because if we enclose here, well, for starters, I don't like having two third line stones on the right side of the board right now. It feels like a little bit low, but it also offers your opponent a great opportunity to expand on the top while approaching. And we can kind of anticipate a couple of different answers here, and we're not going to like any of them. Answer number one, we're going to play this way, in which case we now have even more low stones on the board. So in the future, where it's going to be continually kept low, and we're not going to really be happy with the amount of territory we have at that point. So we can rule that one out. We could play here, but again, we're not really picking up a lot of territory. There's a lot of ways to reduce that, and white is still growing again, kind of feels a little uncomfortable. We can try to pincer, but once again, we're returning over and over and over again to that being kept low thing that we just don't like. Because again, this is just like not worth very many points at the end of the day. Like if black takes all of that, that's only like 20 points. And white can pick that up in one corner with Comey easily. So it's just not very acceptable. As a result, we would much prefer to enclose something like this one. That way, if our opponent approaches here, they're not growing. And then when they inevitably lose Sente from after they settle, we can just keep growing or reducing them or whatever we want to do. So this is a little bit flat, don't like. This, I do have to give a warning, is a dangerous move to play nowadays because I have ceased playing it because almost all of my opponents will hit me immediately and begin a fight that lasts most of the rest of the game, which is not something I'm always into. Because when you play here, you're going to play this one, and then they can do one of two things. They can actually take the fight on a large scale, or after this one, they can go ahead and fix the Jiseki. But it gets awkward for us to continue the Jiseki that we want to pick because they've already got the invasion already in here. So whenever they feel like, they're just going to go ahead and play this one. And then that's just going to live. So I do have to warn people now against the Tiger's Mouth. It's not as simple as it used to be. You can thank aggressive Chinese and Korean players for that one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that is definitely going to get hit. I expect this move from black. Maybe not immediately. Okay, we can do it later. There's no rush. I agree. Pincer here, not completely unusual. You are giving up your corner though, of course. Does not play that. Okay, odd. I expect this corner to be given up. And then maybe this one. Now the danger here is all of our territory is in the upper left-hand corner. So if black gets a nice flexible group in like, let's say somewhere over in here, then that's all of our territory. Whereas black, unfortunately, isn't that easy to reduce because they've got territory here and here, two different places. So it's hard to turn around and do the exact same. This is kind of like putting all your eggs in one basket. It's not bad, but I will say it's risky. This jump, though, I just don't like it. We don't get really anything out of jumps from the approach on the 4-4 when we're pincered like this. Because, yeah, we can't really play. Oh, I guess I know it was just like you're going for. You wanted to go with like this one into this one or something. We don't really play this anymore because it's just too low. Especially because we've also got later on not happy. That can be game ending because it's just like for free. Unless we play here, in which case they're just going to build over and our position's all low and uninteresting and they're getting territory and influence and just all sorts of really fun stuff. So usually when we do play this, we will omit playing this move in order to immediately play this one. And there's usually a very good reason to play this. Like maybe, I don't even know. Maybe we already have some kind of formation on the upper left. So we're splitting and attacking it because we're in a strong position. Therefore, the fight should go better for us than our opponent because they're the one kind of outnumbered. Here, this is just totally not the case. So I'd rather just go into the corner. Now, that said, if you're looking at this board and saying, I don't like my opponent getting that large of an upper left-hand corner, well, then that's what we should have played. Either we should have played something like old school, like just a split to make sure that the upper left-hand corner doesn't continue to get built, or maybe even something like this, if you think this is the area that you're concerned about. But if you're flexible, you shouldn't have to worry about, well, yeah, let's go into the corner. Hello, no. There we go. Shouldn't have to worry about going into the corner and that being a fine position for you. That's slow. Yep, you were baited. We should probably take this right now because this is fine. We're live and we're connected. There's nothing our opponent can do. They can play this one, but again, we're live and connected. There's nothing they can do. This, unfortunately, is just too slow. Attack. I agree, but I want to attack. I want to pincer 2 space, not 3, specifically because do they play it? Yoink, yoink. Yeah, exactly. They can still get a base here. So I'd want to go 2 space, high or low. I don't really care which one, just to make it harder for them to actually settle this position. So you got this. No. Never hit your opponent if you can avoid it. Here, I'm going to go low. I expect them to follow suit. And then we've got something like this, or they'll just play this one. And then maybe go ahead and tap here, see what they do, and then attack again. But if we play here, they're going to hit us. We're going to respond. They're going to have Sente. So this is very much a fight over who has Sente to follow up the attack. You hit them, they're probably going to get Sente. Or, yeah, essentially. When we play a move like this one, they have to hit you, which gives them the weakness that they have to fix, and then you can hit them. So that's a good way of looking at it. Whoever gets hit first is the one who's good to know who has Sente or not. This is decent shape. Okay. Big decisions in our world. Do we completely surround that? It looks like it would be a large knight into a 3 space extension. It's a little bit risky, but with A7 on the board, able to be captured whenever you feel like, I think the reward is worth the risk. So definitely cap next. Ooh, didn't. What'd you do? You didn't risk it. So I think black's shape here is good enough that we can absolutely play this. I expect that we're going to get cut off. I don't know how we're going to get cut off, but we're going to get cut off. Let's just say it happens. Okay, that wouldn't make any sense because I can totally fight this. There, you're cut off. If this happens, worst thing that could possibly happen is you're instantly alive. So it's not that bad, right? Therefore, we can play aggressively here because you do have that B7 you can capture whenever you feel like. So it's good to note when you have Sente like this, you need to assess the groups, which groups have shape, which ones don't, which ones can live locally, which ones can't. Right now, all of your groups can live locally. So we can be aggressive because if he gets completely surrounded, he needs to go back and fix all these shapes because otherwise, he's going to be the one getting killed. And even if here he doesn't die, there, he's alive. Ignore that last move. There, he's alive. It's still really great for you because you can just go ahead and keep building up this way. You can shoulder hit and build up this way. You can launch that attack with Sente, whatever you want to do. You got enough strength to do pretty much anything you want. This isn't good because we're specifically pushing him out and against our group. Yeah, you've got it, but it's too early in my opinion. I like a move like this. I even like a move like this, to be honest. Because again, I view you being surrounded and you taking B7 as Miai. So as long as that's there, we can be a little bit flexible with our group. this is a little bit too scary. And I think it's because you're playing against a 1Q as a 5Q. So maybe you're a little bit worried that he's going to turn around and kill you if you're not careful, but gotta worry less about the rank and more about just like what the board's telling you. You can do two things. You can come out, you can live. So you have to take away both of those at once for you to be dead. And you shouldn't be able to do that unless you allow him to play two moves at once, which would be weird. Very bold, but weird. Okay, I got an Atari there. Does that Atari make any sense for us right now? Not really. But you know what I kind of like instead? Let's see if you play it. You might be on the right track. Are you the same idea that I do? Okay, this I'm getting offended by. All right. So I'm not okay. Actually, wait, you might have the same idea. The minute you get Centale, no. When you get Centale, no, if you have the right. Okay, we never find out. All right. So what I was looking at back in here is I was thinking about just this one because that's an easy read. I table shape, and then the cut opens up to me. But if he protects the cutting point and does not play T19, then suddenly we can start surrounding the right-hand group again. Now, yes, the right group will live. I'm not saying it's going to die, but the act of surrounding it is large in of itself, because that means we can start doing cool things in the center again. That said, before the center, I would live in the side because he doesn't have any way of stopping you from just placing a group back in here. That shape point that we mentioned earlier in the beginning of the game, yeah, there's just no fighting it. If you play here and he plays this one, there's this. And then I guess they can do something like this one. But it's not really worth defending this little square of 3, 6, 9 points, considering like all of the outside that we're going to get in exchange. So yeah, good position here. So somehow you lost Sente. You played there, okay. And then you're getting cut here, which should not be a thing. Now, the way it's not going to be a thing is one of two different ways. You could play this one. And if they play here, they're dead. And if they play here and try to cut you, they're dead again. So all they can do if you play here is literally play this, which is completely fine. You're just going to get all the fourth line on the right-hand side. Your corner's nice and secure. This seems fantastic for me. They might get the top of the board, but it's not really a concern because they have to play a move like over in here to really get that. Otherwise, you can start poking. And there's still another large point on the board still. Maybe go ahead and grab this one too while we're at it. There we go. And then, yeah, black's in a really nice position this game. Oh, and the right-hand side might be dying later on because it looks like this has been left to die. So for that matter, white, I think we need to be a little bit less aggressive here and just go for the standard life. Like the cutting point is a thing. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. 100%. 10 out of 10. There is a weak point there, but we're poking at it in the wrong way. Yeah, this. I mean, truthfully, I just dropped down right now as black. White's going to play here and not connect. Otherwise, they're probably going to die. Because this into this is just going to lead into a fight that goes into the center. And then the top's going to be invaded again. Because like if we play something like this one, then that is absolutely an invasion point. That is very, very close to just killing white. We can't really take a result like this anymore because you can just see the surround taking place just fast as you can get. But of course, it all stems from noticing that M17 is a weak point on the board. Here, unfortunately, Yuhane, there's really no reason to. Because think about it this way. Let's say they go back here and live, and then we need to do the same unforge. So here, here, into here, here. There, whatever, there, done, alive. And then probably something to make sure that this area stays ours. Well, that's great and all, but consider that the left is still not alive, so we can play moves like the cap. And we can play moves in the center still. And we're picking up a lot of points up in that middle, simply because it hasn't been denied to you yet. So we should be happy with the wall that we're getting. That, however, is not something we should be happy about. Trying to kill it, I admire it. I'm a big fan of murdering my opponent, but yeah, this is just not strong enough. In fact, this is probably where we lost the game, because now there's the top. The right has been broken in half, and there was no penalty for white, so we got no compensation. Instead, we're going to live in Gote, question mark. Yeah, and we're still going to get attacked. Yeah. Yeah, here's where we're lost. We want to, we have to play here. Last attempt. Maybe something's here. I'm not entirely certain anything is, but if we don't launch an attack here and reduce that top, we got no chance this game. Because the bottom left isn't very much. The upper left isn't very much for black either. So it's all in the bottom right-hand corner that has to equal all of white's territory. And we can just say goodbye to that idea. Nope. That's a move that you play kind of when you're leading and you want to secure your lead. But we are behind right now. So this is just kind of helping us be more behind. Right now it's simple. We either attack and get some damage done, or the game's just over. And with this life on the outside, yeah, this is just over. Sorry. Any last minute attempts to do anything through here? Probably not. Looky. No, the groups are staying nice and connected, so there's no chance for any kind of counterattack or late game swindling. Yeah, that's over.